Clearly not happy, and we'll hear more of that later, but breathless, really, not just for 90 minutes, but 96 minutes plus, Michael. Who would have seen that coming just before Tarkowski struck on 96 minutes?
Well, exactly. You thought with Mo Salah's goal, it took the wind out their sails, and it just felt like from here that, you know, that Everton had began to lose a little bit of faith. Martin was still saying there's something going to happen because of the occasion and whatever, but I was sitting there thinking Liverpool have got this now. And it was a little bit of hit and hope, big, long, looping ball into the box, a flick on, a challenge, it dropped. So there was nothing really technical in the goal, apart from the finish, which was a thumping finish. But what an end to the game, and it had everything, with red cards, with tempers boiling over. We sensed it at half-time, the tempers were boiling over,
yes.
and it bubbled again towards the end. Lots of yellow cards within the game, and of course, a couple of red cards to end the game as well.
It looked like it was going to be a low-key defeat for Everton in that final derby showdown at Goodison, and it was anything but in the end.
No, and you know, if you'd have played in that 4-4 game that I played in all those years ago, 4 times we came back from the brink, and I just had that sense of feeling that I think it's going to happen again. I just feel there's going to be a final twist in this great old stadium. The ghosts of yesteryear will return. I'm not a ghost yet, but I would have been. I'd have been in there. But it was, honestly, as a former Everton player, it was great to see. And, of course, it helps Arsenal as well. It makes a bit of a contest. At 9 points, you start to find it's very difficult for anybody to catch them. And then you're looking at the fixture lists and thinking, oh, all of a sudden, they look a little bit more difficult when we have to go to the likes of Aston Villa and Newcastle, big games coming up now for Liverpool. Yeah. And that tetchiness was always under the surface. There was so much on this game. You know, for Liverpool to win it, for Everton to scrambling for points, and it kind of blew over, bubbled over right at the end. I'm not really that surprised in the end.
Yeah, let's have a look then at that all-important moment, really, that equalising goal from James Tarkowski. You would have been proud of this finish, Martin.
Oh, yes. I mean, I don't think I was ever... Well, maybe for England I scored one like this, but... That's another story. Look, they just kept going. It was a difficult ball into the box, and I thought they just couldn't clear it. And I just thought, I wonder if someone's going to do something special. And that was a wonderful finish. It takes the lid off the roof at Goodison. Tarkowski had made the mistake for what looked like a winning goal for Liverpool. And then they had that agonising wait. Again, I was quite confident. I know Michael's a bit of a specialist in this area, but I was saying, no, he's onside. And that's how it turned out. It took quite a while to get there in the end, but I think it was a draw, this match. I didn't see a winner in it. Tetchy affair, and it's nice that I think 41 victories apiece
in the head-to-heads. Yeah.
In the head-to-heads at Goodison, and maybe that's the right and proper thing that's happened in the end.
Yeah, it was an amazing finish. Plenty of pace, goalkeeper no chance, and the drama of VAR.
It almost prolonged it, didn't it?
But Everton got a double celebration out of it, didn't they? It was good. And again, obviously, I'm a Liverpool supporter, but I thought it was a fair result. I didn't think there was loads of quality in the game, even though it had all the, great ingredients of a derby. I didn't think there was loads of quality on show. But 2-2, 4 goals, sending offs, everything about the game. So it was a great watch.
But Everton certainly asked a lot of the questions in terms of attacking play in that second half.
Yeah, Doucouré has a fantastic opportunity. He's almost trying too hard. Ahead of that, he glances wide. And you start to look and think, OK, twists and turns are going Liverpool's way, opportunities that are not being taken. And the game looked like it was beyond them. So to score in the manner they did will feel like a victory for Everton.
I was just going to ask you that. Is that in the dressing room right now, as the jubilation, the celebrations, as if they've just won that game?
Well, 10 points that they've picked up in the last 4 games. It's almost enough now to take them from 17 points to 27. They're alongside Spurs in the table. They're feeling now that they're definitely going to that new stadium. Yeah. And boy, we're in the Premier League. It's big time again. And this is maybe the beginning of a new foundation for Everton to build upon.
That's 3 wins and a draw in 4 games. Was that further evidence today of the improvements that they've been showing under David Moyes?
I think so, yeah. I mean, Everton, it's always frustrated me because I look at the squad and I think they are a good team. They've got England's goalkeeper, for starters. Very solid defence. They've got one of the best defences in the league this season, which is incredible. They might lack goals, and they have lacked goals. They've got injuries to 2 of their centre forwards, But in general, I look at the squad and think it's definitely a Premier League outfit. I don't think they should be mixing it with the bottom three. They've got an unbelievable crowd, stadium, buzz about the place. I mean,
we have to credit David Moyes.
Yeah, it's quite frustrating if you're an Everton fan to see you down there. And of course, David Moyes has come in and it's lit the old spark, let's say.
Yeah.
Because again, going back to even when I was playing, nobody liked going to Goodison. I mean, it was such a tough place to go. All the things that we spoke about before the game. So I think, don't get me wrong, I don't think this run will continue. I don't think they're going to be getting 10 points from 12 all the way through the season, every 4 games. However, that little, burst of points that they've got in the last 4 games has probably shot them to safety already.
If this game was to have been played on its original date over 2 months ago, would you have seen something like that tonight?
No way. Absolutely no way. I mean, I'm just looking at Lindstrom and Jake O'Brien, who, apart from the goal they concede where there's a bit of a lack of awareness, I'm looking at him thinking, well, he should have been in the team because the skill set he has, he's quick, he's strong, he's 6'5". He's playing right back, really, not by design, by the manager deciding, do you know what, I want proper defenders in here. And then Lundstrom is doing a really good job in front of him. Without those two tonight, I don't think they'd have got a result.
Agree, Michael?
Yeah, I mean,
that might not have been the case if this had been played earlier.
Listen, he's tweaked a couple of players. I think you've got to do that when you are managed, because obviously previous things haven't been going perfectly. So you've got to come in and change 1 or 2 things, and he's obviously done that. But I'd say the bigger picture is that David Moyes and his effect on the crowd, on the belief of the players, it's a fresh voice, etc. Someone that's been there, seen it, done it, not just in other clubs, but in this club as well. So yeah, I mean, the whole combination has resulted in this.
Tactically, I think David Moyes is really clever. And I think what he does, he creates this sort of mid-position roadblock. And what they do now is they change slightly. Decore goes up alongside to press, and they block the middle of the pitch, and they send you down the sides. On the right-hand side of the pitch, there's often a man-for-man situation. So it's slightly different on the right to the left.
Yeah.
And Jai getting injured as he did, though, is a huge blow because he's interpreted the manager's new messages really very well. So it's almost as well they've got the 10 points now because they are limping over the line. Mangala injured as well, out for the rest of the season. Calvert-Lewin out for a good period. Beto's been a good addition to them. He's wholehearted. You wouldn't say he's the best player in the Premier League, but he gave those two a real handful. He was a handful for them tonight.
Yeah.
He's a nuisance of a player, and he scores a really good first goal.
I think Canate and Van Dijk both know they've been in the game this evening, don't they?
Exactly, and it sometimes shows you how, he's never going to be a player that's going to be challenging for Golden Boot honours, but, it just shows you, with your home crowd, with a bit of tenacity and grit and determination, you can give anybody a tough game. And Beto, as Martin said, he's not the best striker in the Premier League, but Virgil van Dijk and Canate will go home with a few bumps and bruises tonight thinking, don't fancy playing him many times.
How significant is it now to be 10 clear of the bottom 3?
Yeah, massive, because it seemed every time they took a step forward, Everton as a football club, they went 2 steps back.
Yeah.
Last season, points been taken off them. I think it's helped within the club that the ownership issue is over and that they have a clear vision of what they want. They made the changes. It was a difficult environment for the manager to work in. Moyes has come in now, and there's a freshness, but they will need to buy and strengthen going forward. But it looks as if now, just in those 4 matches, you see what he's done in a matter of, 20-odd days. He's almost done what the previous manager did in the previous 6 months. Now, obviously, we know that Sean was working in difficult circumstances. They hardly bought anybody in the 4 or 5 transfer windows before that. But nonetheless, he's come in and made a huge difference, David Moyes.
Yeah, 27 points is not going to keep them safe.
No, I'm not saying the job's done.
Exactly, so it's not done. But I think what they've been able to do is now buy themselves, even if they go through an average patch again, just like the odd draw, the odd win every, 5 or 6 I think they've almost taken all the pressure off now and they can almost dribble over the line. Now, that's not what they want to do. And David Moyes will be thinking, right, we can finish above Tottenham, we can finish above Manchester United. Imagine that. We can get to middle of the table. However, when he first came in and when he does his interview, he'll probably be saying we're still not safe. We still need to accumulate more points. But most of the job is done now.
And it looks like he's going to be without the services, David Moyes, that is, of Iliman and Ndiaye, and we'll talk about that in a moment, because he does bring that X factor really to Everton, and he was distraught really as he hobbled off the pitch. But also Abdullah Doucouré, after that red card on the full-time whistle, he's going to miss the Palace game, which is next on the agenda for Everton, and you can just see it there as the camera came up close with his hand on his lips towards the Liverpool fans. Clearly, it's not right to incite opposition fans. Michael Oliver then gave him a second yellow. He's asking why, but I think the answer clearly was pretty clear from Michael Oliver. And then Arne Slot had his say here.
Yeah, we don't know what Arne Slot said. Well, obviously, hopefully we'll get to hear from him. I don't think we'll get to hear from the referee, but
no.
But I think that a second yellow is absolutely justified for Doucouré for inciting, potential trouble. And then for Curtis Jones for obviously trying to take the laws into his own hands as well. So a second yellow card for both of those, I'm absolutely cool with. We don't know what he said. Obviously, for him to get brandished a straight red, he must have said something pretty strong towards Michael Oliver. That will come out in the washing, but not nice scenes at the end. But part of you likes to see that passion, that feeling, not overstepping the mark, which we saw there, but everybody likes to feel that and see.
It's hard.
That,
it's hard to press that button, isn't it? From just fighting for the ball and then fighting because somebody is, taking the mickey out of your team. So but when they look back at that, they're also particularly proud of that.
Yeah, a red card also given to Sipka Horshoff, who's the one of the assistant coaches at Liverpool. And we'll try and find out why that was here on Matchday Live. But let's get some post-match reaction, shall we, from the Everton head coach, David Moyes, looking back at what was a dramatic point in the end. And he's alongside, as you can see, Stephen Leon.
Yes, Manish, thank you very much indeed. Look at the size of that smile, first of all.
I know.
I mean, I think that's the biggest I've ever seen you smile.
Well, I don't smile that often. But,
I can testify to that.
But let me tell you, it looked like the game wasn't going to be our night, and to score a goal in the last Merseyside derby here in the last minute, and it was some volley as well, and then keep us hanging on the way they did with VAR. It was a difficult moment. So I'm smiling because it was a point which helps us in making sure that we try and retain our position in the Premier League.
It's a historic moment as well, isn't it? I mean, what a way to finish derby life at Goodison, David.
It was, and let's be fair, it wasn't a great game. It was a wee bit of a throwback over the years. It was lots of challenges, and it was a bit more feisty than maybe other games have been. But it suited us tonight. We had to probably be a little bit more ugly than we'd like to be, but I felt as if that we had to do something to try and nullify Liverpool, who Liverpool are an excellent team. They're a very, very good team.
What was going through your mind during the VAR check? I mean, it took an age.
No, when I turned round, I looked
expletives.
I looked at Billy. Billy went like that to me. I went, oh no, because as managers, we want to celebrate the goals. And it was just a feeling, my goodness, what a moment this will be if the goal had stood, And I'm thinking, I'm going to look all right, Charlie, here if if it doesn't count, which all the managers are probably thinking the same. But deep down, look, we got to the right decision, and thankfully the goal stood.
Well, you're a goal behind going into the 96th minute. Did you send Tarkowski up the pitch? Did he venture up there all by himself?
I don't know what he was up for. I can't even think what the reason he was up. We'd pushed Big Jake up at the time, earlier, and swapped with Ash a little bit just with a few minutes to go. But look, you know what it's like. These moments very rarely happen in football. You don't get it to happen too often. So it was a real fine moment for it to happen here at Goodison tonight.
Listen, David, in your 11 and a half years, we've heard unbelievable noise here. I was here the night Frank Lampard kept them up against Palace.
Yeah.
But when Tarkowski scored there,
wow,
I think this stadium was as loud as it's ever been, wasn't it?
It was. It's probably a while I've not been back to enjoy. We've had some great nights here, Ozzy, and different games over our time, but I think it was a bit special tonight, and it felt it, the noise, everybody together. And I think there's been a wee bit of break up maybe between the supporters and the players because things haven't been going well. It's been difficult for the club, but I'm beginning to see the supporters and the players coming back together again, which is huge for this club because the players here need the support. and you can see what it does to you at Goodison, and we're going to need them again between now and the end of the season.
What about you? Because 6 weeks ago you were being invited to sit up there in the stand as the last derby, as the longest-serving Everton manager to come back, and we watched you jumping up and down and kicking every ball. Can you believe what you've just witnessed back as the Everton manager tonight?
Well, I've got to say, before it, I was thinking, why was it I've been left with this game? Because I thought it looked a really tough game to get. Liverpool are in good form. But the thoughts to come back and be around these games, it's always been very difficult, and with me, Ozzy will know, to beat Liverpool, because over the years they've always bought good players and had good teams. But we've always tried to be really competitive against them. I think we're a long way at the moment from being close enough to Liverpool from what we should be. But the aim is to try and get much closer and hopefully build that over the coming seasons.
So you've got, as I was talking before, that you're behind going into the last few moments. Did you understand the significance, I'm sure you did, of the potential of Liverpool having won more games here at Goodison Park?
Was I? Yeah. I knew that was going to be coming up if I thought they're going to have it. And I was trying to say, well, does it really matter? And I'm trying to say, nah, it doesn't really matter until we scored the goal. Once we scored the goal, then it mattered to me. You know what I mean?
Oh, good. Well, it was an incredible goal. I mean, you couldn't have expected a goal of such quality, really. No.
And look, let's be fair. Tarky didn't have his best game at the weekend, but I'm sure he'll have quietened a lot of people. Got the goal. I thought he played really well today. I thought a lot of the players played really well today. They really did. Stuck at it defensively. We limited Liverpool to not too many opportunities, which was a great thing.
Yeah, I thought the team did fantastic. I thought, from half time up until about 70 minutes, I thought Everton were very much on top, and they just couldn't find the goal. And then a sucker punch at the other end, and
that's right.
You found another opportunity to get back, though, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. And I've got to say, I thought that we did deserve another goal. We'd missed a couple of chances, but we're just lacking a little bit of quality when it comes to finish. You'll have seen the team a lot. But the one thing we have been doing is at least we've been getting a few chances, and we've been trying to make it. We've tried to keep positive and keep telling the players, no, let's see if we can get good balls in the box and make sure enough people arrive in the box. Look, I don't know what Tarky was doing up there at the end.
Well, I'm glad he was there.
By the way, I don't know if he'll ever strike a volley as sweet as that one as well. But,
he certainly won't make one as historic, that is for sure. Well, listen, well done tonight.
Cheers,
fantastic.
Thank you.
Great to see you again.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us.
Well done.
David
Well done.
Moyes,
Thank you. Wow.
You can still see the smile, as you say. Honestly, we were 5-6 yards away from you. Should have seen him when that green line came up and they gave the VAR goal and this place took off.
Unbelievable. It was almost two celebrations in one goal, wasn't it? Gents, thanks very much indeed. That's 10 points from a possible 12 for Everton under David Moyes. What's he changed in that time since he's come in? They seem more on the front foot. It's obviously got to be more than that, because they look more stubborn at the back as well.
We will always question that. When a new manager comes in, we always think, what have they said? Sometimes it's just that fresh face. He'll have time to mould his team. He'll have transfer windows to mould his team in the future. But for now, he's just got that bounce factor, as they call it.
Talking about the bounce factor, Goodison was bouncing when James Tarkowski scored that injury time equaliser. And Captain Marvel is with Stephen Leon.
Yes, he is. He's waving to everyone because he is the hero. I mean, right, put that into words. Merseyside derby history, 97th minute, last ever kick.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully the video will put it into words for you, because I ain't got many words for it. Yeah, special. I'll say special. The moment, the occasion of what it is, with it being the last derby here, and what a way to finish it. It could have been me, it could be anyone else. Thankfully it was me, because I can enjoy it.
Yeah, and the manager's just asked us, what were you doing up there?
Yeah, I'm asking myself that. I just saw Youngie put one up early. I looked at the clock, knew there can't be long left, and just thought I'd get myself up there and see what happens. And as the ball was bouncing from the cross from Miko, I could sort of see that everyone was sort of getting under the ball. I think Tim got a little flick on it, and just let it rip and see what happens, and thankfully went in.
Now, when you run over to that far side, when the ball hits the net, this is before the VAR, by the way.
Yeah.
What's the adrenaline rush like, knowing you've just done that, or hopefully done that?
I mean, after I slid on my knees, I couldn't tell you what happened. I just had hands on my head, people grabbing me, people shouting at me. I seen a few stewards on the floor and it was getting trampled on. It was just chaos.
Have you ever heard a louder noise once that ball hit the net?
Yeah, to be honest, I was that much in my own head just about celebrating. I can't even take it all in. So I'm going to take a bit of time to watch it back and really enjoy it when I get home.
Well, I was saying, wasn't I, Steve, at half-time, just after half-time, I said there's a real opportunity for someone to really make a hero of themselves, write the name into the history books here at Everton forever, and you've done that. I mean, can you quite believe it?
No, not really. I mean, I'll look back on it in a few years and it'll be probably one of the biggest moments of my career, really.
It'll be a quiz question in 50 years. Who scored the last ever goal in a Merseyside derby at Goodison with the last kick?
I think most people might forget that, to be honest, if it's me.
No one will forget that.
You won't.
Yeah,
no.
Big history tonight.
Yeah, no, it does feel special. As I say, down the line, it'll probably feel more special for me. Right now, I'm probably just thinking about the season, the result, and sticking points on the board. Obviously, I enjoyed the moment, but I'm more concentrating on the job in hand.
Okay, well, stop being so modest. You say you can't remember it. Have a look at the screen again, and let's just slow it down for you to have a look here at this moment here. Look at the technique.
Great technique, yeah. I was just speaking with one of the lads today saying that I never really do any finishing practice at all.
Really?
No, not really. I used to do a little bit back in the day, but now I just sort of, once the lads go do some finishing, I might do a little bit of my own work. I'll just get myself inside and look after my body. So yeah, to put one in the back of the net like that feels amazing.
I've got to be honest, as the ball was bouncing up and it's flicking on and it comes over and it loops over, I'm thinking, who's run onto it?
Wait, you saw me, you were like that.
I held my breath, only for a moment.
At least you're honest.
Yeah, but I mean...
Oh, not Tarkowski.
Not quite, but you couldn't have wished to have struck it any better. Was it just literally just keep your eye on the ball?
Yeah, I mean, early on, I think Van Dijk sliced onto the edge of the box and I got the ball out my feet a little bit and maybe I should have struck it, but I didn't like the angle, didn't really like the ball was hitting my feet, so I passed it. And that was a bit in my head, thinking that I probably should have shot. So when that was falling to me, I was just making sure that I got good contact and hit the target, and thankfully went in.
What was the agony of the VAR wait like?
Yeah, I mean, I was just expecting it to be this hard, to be honest. I always expect the worst in them situations. So thankfully, no. Thankfully, it didn't ruin my night.
And is it almost like a double celebration, sort of relief after the VAR confirmed the goal?
Yeah, a little bit. I was considering running off and celebrating again, but there would have been so much chaos. And the manager would have told me off, so I decided not to.
Could you quite believe the reaction of this crowd, not only to the goal going in, but you know the joy on all these faces after the final whistle went, which was only 8 seconds after you scored the goal?
Yeah, no, it's amazing. I managed to stay out for about 10 minutes after the game anyway because of all the madness that happened. So to see a packed house still singing along, special night.
And just to wrap up, you're now 10 points above the drop zone. I mean, who'd have thought that 5 weeks ago as well?
Yeah, it's been a good few weeks for us. There's been lots of tweaks and changes. We're still improving. We still need to get better as a group and a team. But yeah, we've improved, picking up points, which is the most important thing. And we've got to keep building on from there because there's a chance to finish the season really well and then be excited going into the next year.
Now listen, thanks for joining us. And just remember, your name is in history tonight.
Thanks, Steve. I am freezing, so I am ready to go.
Go back in and warm up.
Thank you.
Well
Cheers.
done.
Well done.
Wonderful.
Great to see you.
Cheers, guys.
Right, that's it from us.
Yeah.
Can you quite take it in? You've had an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
The best moment of the night when he was watching the replay, Ozzy, on the VAR. Steve, it's green. That's all you shouted, wasn't it?
Yeah, look, it was emotional. I felt every bit of emotion that the stadium felt tonight. I was wanting to be on the pitch, but I was also wanting to be in the crowd as well. It's such a special place, and it deserves moments like this. It deserves to go out and finish with last-minute volleys at the Gladys Street end to really write people like James Tarkowski's name into the history books. This crowd enjoy it. I spoke to a couple of them after the game. Nobody wanted to go home. Everybody just wanted to still enjoy this time and this moment. And unfortunately, as far as Merseyside derbies are concerned, it's over. But what a way to finish.
Absolutely. The lights go out on a Merseyside derby in the most dramatic fashion.
Unbelievable. I was hoping for some tears from Ozzy, but it wasn't to be. But enjoyed your stuff from Goodison. Steve, Leon, thanks very much indeed. James Tarkowski, no doubt, he'll have the headlines tomorrow. And this is what we love about football, is the redemption it brings. Unfortunately, he had a hand in the 2 Bournemouth goals in the FA Cup in the last match. But now everybody will remember his name after tonight.
Yeah, and you know what, this player, at the end of every season, he's top of clearances, he's top of headers, he's top of tackles. And people would have said it was an unlikely finisher, but now he has that moment where he scores the last goal in a derby game at Goodison, keeps it all square and wins for both teams, 41 apiece. And it was a goal that, inspirational goal. And the lid came off the ground, a great moment for him. And I think it was nice to hear from Moyes as well. David Moyes being so realistic. There's a big gap between the two clubs. David Moyes now seems much more assured. He seems much calmer. he sums up better as well. I think there's more honesty from him. And you could just feel from him that he'd almost read the script tonight, you know? And it was the same with Tarkowski. It was as if he'd visualised that winner. He'd seen it before sometime, maybe dreamt about it last night, and he was ready. And he hits the back of the net. Beautiful finish, because he normally doesn't do that. He said, even himself, he joked, my God, he must have thought, Tarkowski, oh no, not him. He was thinking that before he hit it. And in the end, you get this beautiful moment where there's the payoff.
Yeah.
And foundation now for Everton to build on.
And it maintains the feel-good factor under David Moyes.
Yeah, the momentum, the feel-good factor. Everton fans are going to be already looking forward to the next game, which is important. Because when you're down there and when you're struggling, you dread the next game. You think, oh no, we're playing them, They would have been looking at Liverpool. If they hadn't have gone on this great run recently, they'd been dreading the Merseyside. They would have been dreading the Merseyside derby when it was originally played. But now they were looking forward to it tonight. And they'll be looking forward to the next game and the next game because they're playing so well. So yeah, a great result, keeps the momentum going. And I can't believe many people will be thinking Everton are going to be, being skirmished with relegation this season. I think they're way and gone.
So that's the Everton perspective.